Torah portion, the word is Ekav. And I will be reading from the Complete Jewish Bible in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 12, through chapter 11, verse 25. And this word, Ekav, it comes from a Hebrew word, Akov, the same as Yaakov, like a heel. And the heel follows the body. So it has a meaning of following. And it's also translated as the word because. Like as if because you have followed God's ways, you will be blessed. And that is the whole focus of this Torah portion. So here, Moses is speaking in verse 12. He says, because you are listening to these rulings, keeping and obeying them, Adonai, your God, will keep with you the covenant and mercy that he swore to your ancestors. He will love you, bless you, and increase your numbers. He will also bless the fruit of your body and the fruit of your ground, your grain, your wine, your oil, your olives, and the young of your cattle and sheep. In the land he swore to your ancestors that he would give you. You, verse 14, you will be blessed more than all other people. There will not be a sterile male or female among you. And the same with your livestock. Verse 15. Adonai will remove all illness from you. He will not afflict you with any of Egypt's dreadful diseases, which you have known. Instead, he will lay them on those who hate you. Verse 16. You are to devour all the peoples that Adonai your God hand over to you. Show them no pity, and do not serve their gods, because that will become a trap for you. Verse 17. If you think to yourselves, these nations outnumber us, but can we dispose them? Nevertheless, verse 18, you are not to be afraid of them. You are to remember well what Adonai your God did to Pharaoh and all of Egypt. Verse 19, the great ordeal which you yourself saw, and the signs, wonders, and strong hand and outreached arm by which Adonai your God brought you out. Adonai will do the same to all the peoples of whom you are afraid. Verse 20. Moreover, Adonai your God will send the hornets among them until those who are left and those who hide themselves perish ahead of you. Verse 1. You are not to be frightened of them, because Adonai your God is there with you, a God, a great God, a fearsome God. Verse 22. Adonai your God will expel those nations ahead of you little by little. You can't put an end to them all at once, or the wild animals will become too numerous for you. 23. Nevertheless, Adonai your God will give them over to you, sending one disaster after another, upon them until they have been destroyed. 24. He will hand their kings over to you, and you will wipe out their names from under heaven. None of them will be able to stand against you until you have destroyed them. 25. You are to burn up completely the carved statues of their gods. Don't be greedy for the silver or gold on them. Don't take it with you, or you will be trapped by it, for it is a horror to Adonai your God. 26. Don't bring something a horror into your house, or you will share in the curse that is on it. Instead, you are to detest it completely, loathe it utterly, for it is set apart for destruction. Deuteronomy chapter 8. All the mitzvot I am giving you today, you are to take care to obey, so that you will live, increase your numbers, enter and take possession of the land Adonai swore about to your ancestors. Verse 2. You are to remember everything of the way in which Adonai led you these 40 years in the desert, humbling and testing you in order to know what it was in your heart, whether you would obey his mitzvot or not. Verse 3. He humbled you, allowing you to become hungry, and then fed you with manna, which neither you nor your ancestor had ever known, to make you understand that a person does not live on food alone, but on everything that comes from the mouth of Adonai. 4. During these 40 years, the clothing you were wearing didn't grow old, and your feet didn't swell. 5. Think deeply about it. Adonai was disciplining you, just as a man disciplines his child. 6. So obey the mitzvah of Adonai, your God, living as he directs and fearing him. 7. For Adonai your God is bringing you into a good land, a land with streams, springs, and water welling up from the depths in valleys and on hillside. 8. It is a land of wheat and barley, grapevines, fig trees, and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey. 9. A land where you will eat food in abundance and lack nothing in it. A land where the stones contain iron and the hills can be mined for copper. 10. You will eat and be satisfied, and you will bless Adonai your God for the good land he has given you. 11. Be careful not to forget Adonai your God by not obeying his mitzvot, rulings, and regulations that I am giving you today. 12. Otherwise, after you have eaten and are satisfied, built fine houses and live in them. 13. And increase your herds, your flock, your silver, your gold, and everything else you own. 14. You will become proud-hearted, forgetting Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, where you live as slaves. 15. Who led you through the vast and fearsome desert, with its poisonous snakes, scorpions, and waterless thirsty ground, who brought water out of flint rock for you. 16. Who fed you in the desert with manna unknown to your ancestor, with all the while humbling and testing you in order to do good in the end. 17. You will think to yourself, my own power and the strength of my own hand have gotten me this wealth. 18. No, you are to remember Adonai your God, because it is He who is giving you the power to get wealth, in order to confirm His covenant, which He swore to your ancestors, as it happened even today. 19. If you forget Adonai your God, follow other gods and serve and worship them, I am warning you in advance today that you will certainly perish. 20. You will perish just like the nation that Adonai is causing to perish ahead of you, because you will not have heeded the voice of Adonai your God. Deuteronomy chapter 9. Listen, Israel, you are to cross the Jordan today, to go in and possess it. The nation greater and stronger than you, great cities fortified up to the sky. 2. A people great and tall, the Anakim, whom you know about and of whom you have heard, it said, who can stand before the descendant of the Anites? 3. Therefore understand today that Adonai your God will himself cross ahead of you as a devouring fire. He will destroy them and bring them down before you. Thus will you drive them out of and cause them to perish quickly, as Adonai has said to you. 4. Don't think to yourself, after your God has pushed them out ahead of you, it is to reward my righteousness that Adonai has brought me in to take possession of this land. No, it is because these nations have been so wicked that Adonai is driving them out ahead of you. It is not because of your righteousness or because your heart is so upright that you go in to take possession of their land, but to punish the wicked of these nations that Adonai your God is driving them out ahead of you, and also to confirm the word which Adonai swore to your ancestor Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Therefore understand that it is not your righteousness that Adonai your God is giving you this good land to possess, for you are a stiff-necked people. 7. Remember, don't forget how you made Adonai your God angry in the desert from the day you left the land of Egypt till you arrived at this place. You know how rebellious against Adonai you were. Say, also in Horeb, you made Adonai angry. Adonai was angry enough with you to destroy you. 9. I had gone up the mountain to receive the stone tablets, the tablets on which was written the covenant Adonai had made with you. I stayed on that mountain 40 days and nights without eating food or drinking water. 10. Then Adonai gave me the 2 stone tablets inscribed by the finger of God, and on them was written every word Adonai had said to you from the fire on the mountain the day of the assembly. 11. Yes, after 40 days and nights, Adonai gave me the 2 stone tablets, the tablets of the covenant. 12. Then Adonai said to me, get up and hurry down from here, because your people, whom you led out of Egypt, have become corrupt. So quickly have they turned aside from the way I ordered them to follow. They have made themselves a metal image. 13. Moreover, Adonai said to me, I have seen these people, and what a stiff-necked people they are. 14. Let me alone, so that I can put an end to them and blot out their name from under heaven. I will make out of you a nation bigger and stronger than they. 15. I came down from the mountain. The mountain was blazing fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my 2 hands. 16. I looked, and there you had sinned against Adonai your God. You had made yourself a metal calf. You had turned quickly aside from the way Adonai had ordered you to follow. 17. I seized the 2 tablets, threw them out of my 2 hands, and broke them before your eyes. 18. Then I fell down before Adonai, as I had the first time, for 40 days and nights, during which time I neither ate food nor drank water. All because of the sin you committed by doing what was evil in the sight of Adonai, and thus provoking him. 19. I was terrified that because of how angry Adonai was at you, of how heatedly displeased he was, that he would destroy you. But Adonai listened to me that time too. 20. In addition, Adonai was very angry with Aaron and would have destroyed him. But I prayed for Aaron also at that same time. And I took your sins, the calf you had made, and burned it up in the fire, beat it to pieces, and grind it up still smaller until it was as fine as dust. Then I threw its dust into the stream coming down from the mountain. 22. And again at Tabra and Massa and Tiba Haptava, you made Adonai angry. 23. And when Adonai sent you off from Kadesh Barnea by saying, go up and take possession of the land I have given you, you rebelled against the order of Adonai your God. You neither trusted him nor heeded what he said. 24. You have been rebelling against Adonai from the day I first knew you. 25. So I fell down before Adonai for 40 days and nights, and I lay there because Adonai had said he would destroy you. 26. And I prayed to Adonai and said, Adonai, Elohim, don't destroy your people, your inheritance. You redeemed them through your greatness. You brought them out of Egypt with a strong hand. 27. Remember your servant Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Don't focus on the stubbornness of this people, or on their wickedness, or on their sin. 28. Otherwise, the land you brought us out of will say it is because Adonai wasn't able to bring them into the land he promised them, and because he hated them, that he had brought them out to kill them in the desert. 29. But in fact, they are your people, your inheritance, whom you brought out of your great power and your outstretched arm. Deuteronomy chapter 10. At that time, Adonai said to me, cut yourself 2 stone tablets like the first one. Come up to me on the mountain and make yourself an ark of wood. Verse 2. I will inscribe on the tablets the words that were on the first tablet which you broke, and you are to put them in the ark. 3. So I made an ark of acacia wood, and I cut 2 stones tablets like the first, then climbed the mountain with the 2 tablets in my hand. 4. He inscribed the tablets with the same inscriptions as before, the 10 words which Adonai proclaimed to you from the fire on the mountain the day of the assembly. And Adonai gave them to me. 5. I came down to the mountain and put the tablets in the ark I had made, and they remain as Adonai ordered me. 6. The people of Israel traveled from the wells of Benis Canaan and Moriah, where Aaron died and was buried, and Eleazar, his son, took his place, serving in the office of the Kohen. From there they traveled to Gedor, and from Gedor to Yotavah, at the region with running streams. Verse 8. At the time Adonai set apart the tribe of Levi to carry the ark from the covenant of Adonai, and stand before Adonai to serve him, and to be blessed in his name as they still do today. 9. This is why Levi has no share or inheritance with his brothers. Adonai is his inheritance, as Adonai your God has said to him. 10. I stayed on the mountain 40 days and nights, as previously, and Adonai listened to me at that time too. Adonai would not destroy you. 11. Then Adonai said to me, get up and go on your way, and head to the people so that they can enter and take possession of the land I swore to their ancestors that I would give them. 12. So now Israel, all that Adonai your God asks from you is to fear Adonai your God, follow all his ways, love him, and serve Adonai your God with all your heart and all your being, to obey for your own good the mitzvah and the regulations of Adonai which I am giving you today. 14. See the sky, the heaven beyond the sky, the earth, and everything on it. All belongs to Adonai your God. 15. Only Adonai took enough pleasure in your ancestors to love them and chose their descendants after them, yourselves above all people, as he still does today. 16. Therefore circumcise the foreskins of your heart, and don't be stiff-necked any longer. 17. For Adonai your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, the great, mighty, awesome God who has no favorites and accepts no bribes. 18. He secures justice for the orphans and the widows. He loves the foreigners, giving them food and clothing. 19. Therefore, you are to love the foreigner, since you were foreigners in the land of Egypt. 20. You are to fear Adonai your God, serve him, cling to him, and swear by his name. 21. He is your praise, and he is your God, who has done for you these great and awesome things which you have seen with your own eyes. 22. Your ancestors went into Egypt with only 70 people, but now Adonai your God has made your numbers as many as the stars in the sky. Deuteronomy chapter 11. Therefore you are to love Adonai your God and always obey his commission, regulations, rulings, and mitzvot. 2. Today it is you I am addressing, not your children, who haven't known or experienced the discipline of Adonai your God, his greatness, his strong hand, his outreach arm. 3. His signs and his actions which he did in Egypt to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and to his entire country. 4. They didn't experience what he did to Egypt's army, horses, and chariot, how Adonai overwhelmed them with the water of the sea of Suph as they were pursuing you, so that they remain destroyed to this day. 5. They didn't experience what he kept doing for you in the desert until you arrived at this place. 6. Or what he did to Dathan and Abiram and the sons of Elivar, the descendants of Reuben, how the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, along with their households, tents, and every living thing in their company, there in front of all Israel. 7. But you have seen with your own eyes all these great deeds of Adonai. 8. Therefore, you are to keep every mitzvah I'm giving you today, so that you will be strong enough to go in and take possession of the land you are crossing over to conquer. 9. And so that you will live long in the land Adonai swore to give you to your ancestors and their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. 10. For the land you are entering in order to take possession of it isn't like the land of Egypt. There you would sow your seeds and had to use your feet to operate its irrigation system, as in a vegetable garden. 11. But the land you are crossing over to take possession of is a land of hills and valleys which soak up water when rain falls from the sky. 12. It is a land Adonai your God cared for. The eye of Adonai your God are always on it, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. 13. So if you listen carefully to my mitzvah, which I am giving you today, to love Adonai your God and serve him with all your heart and all your being. 14. Then says Adonai, I will give you your land it rained at the right season, including the early fall rain and the late spring rain, so that you can gather in your wheat, new wine, and olive oil. 15. And I will give your fields grass for your livestock, with the result that you will eat and be satisfied. 16. But be careful not to let yourself be seduced, so that you turn aside, serving other gods and worshiping them. 17. If you do, the anger of Adonai will blaze up against you. He will shut up the sky, so that there will be no rain. The ground will not yield its produce, and you will quickly pass away from the good land Adonai is giving you. 18. Therefore, you are to store up these words of mine in your heart and in all your being. Tie them on your hands as a sign. Put them at the front of a headband around your forehead. 19. Teach them carefully to your children, talking about them when you sit at your home, when you are traveling on the road, when you lay down, and when you get up. 20. And write them on the door frames of your house and on your gates. 21. So that you and your children will live long on the land Adonai swore to your ancestor that he would give them for you, as long as there is a sky above the earth. 22. For if you will take care to obey all these mitzvah I am giving you, to do them, to love Adonai your God, to follow all his ways, and to cling to him. 23. Then Adonai will expel all these nations ahead of you, and you will dispossess nations bigger and stronger than you are. 24. Wherever the soles of your feet step will be yours. Your territory will extend from the desert to the Lebanon, and from the river, the Euphrates River, to the western sea. 25. No one will be able to withstand you. Adonai your God will place the fear and dread of you on all the land you step on, as he told you. The word is ikav, on the heels of, or because.